So Brittany Venti has made a pair of hit pieces on Big Papa Fascist Andrew Wilson and Rachel Wilson's wife. So we're going to watch those. The first one's about his sort of like meal plan, I believe, and the second one is more about his daughters or stepdaughters' marriage to a groper. So we're going to watch through them. We're going to do a bit of a double bill here, okay, double feature. Apparently they're pretty good. We'll see.
And I have I have what I would consider 100% faith and trust in my wife. Mm-hmm. But I told her, I told her these words exactly. You're going to get the fucking test, and if not, I'm out the door. Period.
Well, that man bragging about making his wife take a paternity test and humiliating her in front of millions of subscribers for brownie points is Andrew Wilson, the trad life Christian conservative who has so much faith in his wife that he made her take a paternity test.
I told her these words exactly. You're going to get the
Listen, you can never be too sure with women. You can never be too sure with women. That's just facts.
Fucking test, and if not, I'm out the door. Period.
Well, that's not emotional abuse.
Yeah.
Well, they're also that would be considered emotional abuse.
This is totally the normal reaction you would get when talking about your 100% healthy, loving, and trusting relationship. Andrew Wilson and his wife Rachel Wilson are part of the Trad Thought Coalition on the right. Rachel Wilson insulted a young Christian conservative public figure, Isabella DeLuca, for being an immodest thought who's not a real trad Christian conservative like Rachel because she baked a cake fully clothed while daring to have big boobs. Let me ask you a question. Which one of these sounds more traditional to you? Who's more trad? A, the woman staying in the kitchen and baking a cake fully clothed, or B,
literally nobody gives a fuck about this gay discourse. This is retarded.
A divorced woman who had 5 kids from 3 different men. I would say the girl baking the cake sounds a lot more traditional than the divorced woman with 3 different baby daddies attacking the other woman.
Get onto the hit piece. Get the real hit piece
sloppy
going.
seconds Rachel can attack other women online for not being traditional enough when she sounds like she belongs on an episode of the Maury Povich show.
Of 3-year-old Jeremiah William, you are not.
When I was researching this video, I legitimately lost track of which baby daddy had which kid. She really has the audacity to insult single mothers on the regular when she herself is one. She distances herself from that title of single mom by trying to make the distinction of mothers who are single due to being widowed or abandoned. And what a happy coincidence it is that she should fall under that category. Her first husband, who is now her ex-husband, divorced her, and she claims that he abandoned her. But I wouldn't be so quick to believe her, considering that she lies so often about her marriage. She claims that she was married to her husband for 16 years, and then claims that she was married to him for 26 years. Now, before you say, oh, it might be a typo because 16 and 26 are kind of close when you type it. But looking back in Rachel's history on her tweets, if you do the math from 2023, where she says she's married for 16 years, and then you subtract it from when she got married with her current husband, and it turns out to only be 11 years of marriage, meaning that she is lying about how long she's been married to make herself look better. Because she hates when you call her a single mom. She's not like those other single mothers. And you know what? She's right. Most other single mothers don't have 3 baby daddies. And the cherry on top here is that she had a baby out of wedlock.
I mean, yeah, it sounds like she's lying about her marriage. Sure, yeah. I mean, she's probably a grifter. Yep, don't deny. Yep.
Meaning, if you do the math here from when she says she gave birth
every Christian.
and when their wedding date is, her husband married her because she got pregnant. And that's why he made her take the paternity test to see if it was his child, because he doesn't trust her and would not have married her without one. Which is why, later on, Rachel demanded that paternity tests be the norm so that she is not embarrassed or ashamed that her husband did not actually have 100% trust and faith in her.
I have what I would consider 100% faith and trust in my wife.
And her husband, Andrew, here is in on the lie as well, of course, claiming that she never said anything about being married for 16 years. When she...
I'm sorry, I feel like this just isn't going to hit for me. This isn't going to hit for me because I don't like BPF because I agree with him. I don't care about what he thinks, really. I think he's funny. And I like seeing him own whores. That's why I watch BPF. So I just don't know if this is going to hit for me. This is hit for like a conservative, I feel, but I just could not give a fuck about whether BPF is living up to trad Christian values or not.
Clearly did countless times, and so did Andrew.
Yeah, I've been with the same woman for 18, 20 years, something like that.
We're going to dive a little bit deeper into the Cakegate rabbit hole today, as there have been some interesting developments since my last video on it. But before that, I want to show you guys some candles that we made at Reed Street Soap. This one is my favorite one. It's called Chocolate Kiss, and it has gold glitter in it. It's really pretty, and it's great for Valentine's.
The $2, Emery.
Day. It smells exactly like melting chocolate. It's definitely my favorite one so far. It actually has rainbow sparkles in it as well. You can see it when I'm turning it. It's so beautiful. Honestly, it smells even better than it looks. This one is great.
Also, yeah, true. Being with does not mean married. Yeah.
For Valentine's Day. This one I helped design because my birthday is coming up. It's Aquarius season, and it has an amethyst, which is for February, poking out of it. Don't you love that you get a free crystal when you burn the candle? It smells like magic cherry blossoms, which is the perfect scent for this. Like, think of the falling Japanese cherry blossoms in February. That's what this smells like. This candle.
Do people think Venti's hot? Do people actually think Venti's hot? Is that like a thing?
It's called Blue Crush.
I'm seeing Starlo say this Venti ho's worthless and she's on booby stream. Is that actually? I didn't realize people were actually attracted to her.
Designed to be a men's candle. If I had to describe this, it smells like when a guy just gets out of the shower. So if you want to give a gift to your man for Valentine's Day, or if you're a guy, I would recommend this one. Or maybe if you're a lonely girl on Valentine's Day and you want to smell like there's a man around. If you spend at least $50 on Reed Street Soap's candles, you will get a free birthday candle in honor of my day. Make sure before you check out you use code CUPCAKE if you want the free birthday cupcake candle. Anyways, back to the video. After I released my Cakegate video, Rachel seemed offended by my video pointing out that she was overweight, so she made a Twitter post explaining why she was fat and how she no longer is fat, and that she's living her healthy, fit, trad wife life. So here we have this very masculine looking picture of Rachel that she posted, and it's interesting that in the post she's saying, hey, I'm not
Emery
fat anymore,
super chatted $1.99. Why is this loser still relevant?
No idea. Thank you for $2.
Actually timestamped, meaning it could have been taken at any time. And not only that, but in the photo she posted, the lighting is very dim and she's wearing black clothing, trying to prove that she's not fat. People en masse responded to this picture of Rachel, saying that she still looks fat. And also with the photo not being timestamped, the reason I also don't trust it, despite it not really being a clear photo in the first place, is because this isn't Rachel's first time catfishing. Rachel catfishes by using a photo of herself in her thumbnails that was taken in 2020. Not only is it an outdated photo, but it also doesn't really reflect how she looks in live streams. Depending on how old you are, a lot can change in 4 years with how you look, but especially as you get older, for someone like Rachel who is in her 40s, 4 years can make a huge difference in someone's face, and in Rachel's case, I feel like it does. When I was looking through the comments, somebody pointed out that Rachel's nips are poking through the shirt, and they are. I can't show it on screen, but what is with this trad thought coalition getting on other girls' cases about not being modest trad Christian conservatives, but then they themselves will post themselves with their nipples poking through their shirt? Like in the last video it was Pearl, and now in this video it's Rachel. Why can't she wear a bra? And if she has a problem with bras, at least use some nipple covers if you're going to be on your high horse about modesty. And it's not surprising someone noticed that, considering the whole post is her drawing attention to her body, which is hypocritical to her whole point, complaining about girls grifting and getting attention and simp fishing. Sloppy Seconds Rachel dedicates this entire post drawing attention to her body.
Okay, guys, I'm struggling with this already. This is making me lose it. I do not care. I could not care. Holy fuck. This Venti bitch is so boring. Can we move on? Yeah, I'm honestly feeling moving on. This fucking sucks. This is such a dog shit video. The thing is that there's like limited other stuff. we're scraping the bottom of the barrel as it is. That's my only problem. Should we fuck off the first video and try the second one? I don't know. Just see it through with it before we can do it again. Okay, we'll try and get through it.
About how she lost weight with her nipples poking through her shirt, but somehow that's not attention seeking. But God forbid Cake Girl bakes a cake in her kitchen, fully clothed, with no nips poking out. I think it should be pretty obvious at this point that Sloppy Seconds is attention seeking and she's just jealous that she can't effortlessly get the same amount of attention. Cake Girl gets it without having to show her nipples and blaming her fatness on thyroid issues. It seems like every woke obese person blames their obesity on thyroid issues, so it was a huge red alert when I saw Rachel blaming her weight on her thyroid issues. So I went through Sloppy Seconds social media, and she has a long history of posting the food that she makes. So let's count her calories and see if it's actually those thyroid issues or if it's her just overeating. I'm gonna be conservative with my estimates here. It's probably going to be more than what I say, but I would say this is about 300 calories a bagel times 2, so we're already at 600 calories of bread. I would say that looks like it's about 2 eggs per bagel, and 1 egg is 70 calories, so that would total 280 calories. I can't see if there's cheese in this, so I won't count it. Maybe she just makes really bland, disgusting food. And I don't know if she cooked this in butter or oil, but she chose one of them, and that's usually around 50 to 100 calories depending. Over here, there's about 150 to 200.
This is the funny part. This is the funny part. Counting someone's calories based on their social media posts, this is based. This is epic. Insulting them for being fat by counting their calories. That's fucking epic.
Calories of potatoes on the side. So that's about 1,130 calories for breakfast, not including knowing how much oil or butter that she used. 1,100 calories is almost your entire day's worth of calories, just for breakfast. I know that the caption implies that this is to get the family going with a hot breakfast, but the thing is, as you scroll through her Instagram, all of the meals she posts are always for one person. This meal served by Sloppy for her husband is captioned, "Hangover breakfast for Papa," meaning not only is Andrew going to eat this entire breakfast, which we will break down in a second, but also the night before, he drank so much that he had a hangover. So if he drank enough to have a hangover, that means for someone of his size, he would have to drink probably around 6 to 8 beers, depending on how much of an alcoholic he is. And one beer is 140 calories on the light side. One egg is around 70 calories. Let's say that the Wonder Bread here is 100 calories.
Okay, but this is just the base way to live, let's be honest. Like, sitting in front of your computer, getting pissed up, 6 to 8 beers. Let's be 8 to 10 beers, that's BPF. Then you wake up in the morning, and then you eat this. That's fucking based. No one cares if men are fat, bro, stick to women. Absolutely agree, 100% agree. She needs to stick to Rachel, that's where it really hurts.
Again, being conservative. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. I can't see the one under there, but let's say 5 sausages that are around 100 calories each, which by the way is processed food. Rachel often claims that she makes her food from scratch. I don't know what kind of scratch this is, but so you have 5 to 6 sausages, and it looks like it's around 6 pieces of bacon here. Each slice of bacon is probably around 40 calories, so that's around 240 calories of bacon. And then we have these potatoes under here. Assuming that they're not processed slop like how the sausage is, it's probably around 200 to 300 calories. There's a lot of potato there. So this hangover breakfast for Puffy Papa here is around 1,200 calories after a full night of...
So, Brittany, the one thing Brittany Venti does get right is the little quippy insults, okay? Sloppy seconds Rachel, Puffy Papa. Yeah, these are effective, okay? She needs to leave off the fucking boring 6-minute, 8-minute preamble of, aren't these people kind of like hypocrites? Right, okay, fuck off. No one cares.
Drinking. If you were to say he drank 6 beers, that's around 840 calories on the conservative side. If Sloppy is feeding her husband like this and doesn't know how many calories she's feeding him, imagine what she feeds herself. She posts a lot of these meals that she makes for her husband with these teehee captions like, enhancing his toxic masculinity. My husband was hungry. My husband needs sustenance. Your husband doesn't need sustenance. He needs to eat less. Here's another meal Sloppy made for her husband, and it's a Denny's 3 a.m. stale breakfast. I have to say, for someone who's supposedly been cooking for decades and had 5 children, she sure doesn't cook like it. Her food is very beginner level and it looks super average. You have this burnt bacon here with some burnt potatoes, with some cut up hot dog. I'm sorry, but this is just not what I envisioned to be the ultimate trad wife meal. She could have added some fresh herbs, some vegetables, or maybe some chives on the egg if you're going for presentation points. Her technique looks really bad. I mean, that bacon is burnt to a crisp at the end. Even for someone who likes crispy bacon, this is too much. This is overcooked. The cut up hot
Cut hot dog is crazy. This is fucked. This is totally fucked.
dogs in here just look random, like she threw it in there because, you know, her husband needed the extra calories. Her technique isn't impressive and she burns a lot of her food. We have the presentation, which is bad to mediocre at best. Probably tastes about as good as it looks. And most of the meals that she's posted are things that beginners can make on their first try. And honestly, they probably wouldn't burn the bacon this bad. Let's go over Denny's 3:30 a.m. stale breakfast. 300 calories of burnt potatoes, 95 calories of Wonder Bread. Being conservative is probably like 400 calories of hot dog cut up. Whatever disease.
This is painful. Can't stand this alien looking beer. I have heard it called a white Navi before.
These looking mystery meat this is. Bacon is around 40 calories each. It looks like there's maybe 4 or 5 strips of bacon, so that's probably around 200 calories of bacon. This slop that she's feeding her hungry husband is over 1,000 calories. Just for breakfast. And I could go on forever about this. She's posted a lot of food that she's made, but basically you either have a bunch of high calorie dense meals that are no less than 1,000 calories per serving, or a bunch of the desserts that she made. So this meal, for example, might have been supplemented by a 500 calorie piece of cheesecake. I'm sorry, but baking is for fat people. They would sooner know how to bake than they would know how to cook food properly. Citation. Imagine you marry a divorced single mom thinking that you're getting a trad wife that's gonna cook you good homemade meals from scratch, and then you just get a bunch of processed burnt food, and imagine you get fat over eating her processed burnt food. Oh my god. If you're gonna get fat, at least make it worth it. Like, if I'm gonna get fat, it's gonna be over some pumpkin pie, or maybe over some fried chicken I'd gain some weight for. That would be worth it, but not for this slop. And then her kids have to eat this too. I would hate to be them. So was she fat over her thyroid issues, or is it because she overeats? You know, and this is why Rachel didn't want to call into my stream, because I would have gone over this food and counted the calories with her. And I know that people are going to say, oh, well, she's a mom, she had 5 kids, and she's in her 40s, so you can't expect her to not be fat. First off, excuses, wrong. Second off, I'm going to prove my point. I don't want to hear the excuses when Jordan Peterson's daughter was this skinny after 2 weeks of having a baby. But Rachel can't pull this off even after years because she's gluttonous. Sloppy seconds Rachel puts down other women for not living as healthy and fit of a stay-at-home mom trad wife life as she is. Meanwhile, she's not only using illness as an excuse to get attention to her body, but to also excuse her gluttony and slothing around. Those are 2 of the 7 deadly sins that Christianity speaks against. You know, this wasn't an oopsie mistake. This is a lifestyle that they are living. I get that Christianity has forgiveness, but come on, practice what you preach here. Sloppy Rachel had children out of wedlock and also has several baby daddies. That's not very traditional and Christian. But they're out here judging others and purity spiraling. Rachel insulted Cake Girl for being a slut, so did Andrew. Sloppy Rachel also insulted me, calling me a slut, calling me stupid, and her husband did the same thing on his stream. He called me a moron and started insulting me before he had even watched my video. And he was stressing this stream talking about me. That was like his 12th cigarette. Imagine the stench of that room and how badly he stinks. You would think for a guy that smokes so much.
Yeah, be real, you're doing his 12th cigarette either way, whether you were the topic or not, okay? Let's be totally honest here.
He wouldn't eat so much.
Like, there's nothing I like more than being in this arena entangling, especially with morons, whom I consider Brittany Venti to be a stellar example of a moron.
There's actually a Bible verse about this. 1 Peter 3:9. Do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with blessing, because to this you were called, so that you may inherit a blessing. I'm not calling myself evil here, but it literally says in their book that they're supposed to abide by to not repay insult with insult. Do these people seem like good Christians to you? Addict Andrew, who can't get enough of alcohol and cigarettes and food, is out here claiming he's a good Christian. Meanwhile, Puffy here on his 12th cigarette is busy plastering OnlyFans girls' breasts on his thumbnails. These OnlyFans girls' biggest promotions come from these manosphere podcasts like...
Yeah, the purity testing. You're not a very good Christian, actually. It's just so gay. It's so gay.
Fresh and Fit.
What happens is they hate themselves because they're incel losers, a lot of their audience, and they see you and they're attracted to you, and then they can't help it because they want to see more, and they're actually secret simps, but they hate themselves for being simps, so then they subscribe to your OnlyFans and hate themselves for it, so then they go back on Fresh and Fit and watch women get bullied to kind of make themselves feel better. At least with that audience, that's what I noticed.
Yeah, this Jasmine Jafar woman has obscenely large tits, let's be honest.
How that works.
These OnlyFans girls, their biggest promotion comes from these manosphere podcasts like Fresh and Fit, and Andrew is copying their formula.
When you got kicked off of Fresh and Fit the first time, how much money did you make, girl, afterwards? Like,
Fresh and Fit, there's no one that does more for OnlyFans women than Fresh and Fit. Myron, one of the hosts, wrote a book, Why Women Deserve Less. You are the #1, you have helped sex workers more than anybody, I think, in the world. You have given us the world. Every time I come on your show, my money goes way up. And then he kicked me off, and then he invited me back on. So...
He is copying the formula of some of the biggest supporters of OnlyFans girls. How traditional and Christian of him. So anyway, I want to tell you guys more about what happened after I released my video on Cakegate. So in response to Rachel responding to my video, essentially me pointing out that she's overweight, and she posted that photo of her that wasn't timestamped, I told her to call into my stream since she had such pleasant words to say about me on Twitter. So she said no unless there's a moderator. So she won't call into my stream to say what she has to say to me directly. And not only that, but she and her addict husband kept creating new threads on Twitter to make it look like I wasn't replying.
Emery super chatted $1.99. Can fix being fat. Can't fix her far apart eyes.
Thank you, Emery, for the $2. Thank you.
When she responded to me about wanting to call in, but only with a moderator. She also tried to make me look bad by lying and saying I blocked her, and then she backtracked when I called her out. A moderator is completely unnecessary, and the reason she wants one is to shield her because she's scared of what I would say to her. For example, if I went over these meals and how many calories they are with her on the live stream, what is she going to say? It would be pretty embarrassing. Also, with the moderator thing, I tried to get one to get Rachel to at least come on and talk to me, and it fell through because Chrissy was going to moderate, but then she wanted to host it, but I wanted to host it because I'm the one who made the Cakegate video and put days of research and work and editing into it. And Chrissy said she felt that it wouldn't be fair unless it was hosted on a third party. But I disagree. Sloppy Rachel / her husband have people on and they have a moderator, quotation, but he doesn't actually do anything. He just sits there silent the whole time. So I don't see why I need a moderator when they essentially don't even use one when they talk to people. I also don't agree it needs to be on a third party platform or that we need a moderator, considering that other...
Wait, is she shitting on Alex's moderation? What the fuck? Alex from PWF is a good moderator. What? Don't hate my boy Alex. The fuck?
Streamers have people call in, like Destiny or Turkey Tom. They let people call in and argue with them. So I think the real reason that Sloppy Rachel wanted a moderator was to try to shut me down and prevent me from saying what she didn't want me to say. Sloppy Rachel also said that she was worried that I would mute her, which she has no evidence to go off of that I mute anybody, and really it just seems like projection. But her saying that I would mute her is just some made up excuse that she can't call into my mute anybody, and really it just seems like projection.
Okay, Airhead, once again, I'm going to beg you to pay attention and stay on track here. Is there an issue or idea you want to debate? Or do you just want to... Oh, Jesus Christ. Or do you just want to throw a temper tantrum about how I'm a big meanie head? One requires a new platform with a debater, and the other does not. Feel free to come on and air any grievances about my video or my claims. Why would I come on your stream so that you can just mute me and yell at me and throw a tantrum? You can do that without me. Not interested. Spread all the gospel you want. Say anything about me that you want. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't upset me. Okay. I don't understand the issue of saying of wanting to do it on a neutral party, of a neutral grounds. Am I crazy?
But her saying that I would mute her is just some made up excuse that she can't call into my stream. She could also record or dual stream when she calls in if she really felt like I would be as bad faith as her husband. So after the debate falls through because we can't decide who should host the stream, I say, screw this, and I told Sloppy that my original invitation still stands. Call.
Okay, well show us that. Show us that. Show us it falling apart. Like, what options were exhausted? Was it you being difficult or her?
Into my stream. Call in since you contest me saying that you're overweight. Come on camera and tell me what you have to say to my face. So then, scared Sloppy hides behind her husband, who comes onto our Simpcast episode live where the topic of Cakegate came up, and he is having a good old drunken melty.
None of these chicks can defend their positions, literal morons. I don't care what kind of stream. Yeah, Rachel isn't going on a show where she can't confront her accusers. This is bullshit. These dumb broads talking all kinds of smack and won't confront me 3v1. She isn't going to help you brain dead retards grow your brand. Yeah, right, you're an idiot lol. You'll lose in 15 minutes. I mean, what's the problem here? You're just talking shit in chat.
In the chat, in front of everyone, live, because he knows that Sloppy will be there to make him his 1,500 calorie breakfast after his hangover. Get your rose lattes ready because I'm about to spill the tea. In middle of the Simcast episode being live streamed, Addict Andrew goes into the live stream chat and
Let me on, Chrissy. I'm outnumbered and outgunned. Where's my link, Chrissy? Oh no, Chrissy, you let these chicks talk all kinds of smack. Let me on right now. Crazy to me, I'm here right now to defend against these claims. 3v1, they won't let me on. Yeah, this show is garbage. I mean, like, if you're talking about him and his wife on the show, wouldn't bring him on, wouldn't that be the content? That's like, that is the content. No? BPF is like kind of blowing up right now. That'd be amazing content for him. Why are they not letting him on?
demands that he be invited on to this Simcast episode.
Why would they not want
it?
it?
This fiction being spoken about Sloppy, who, by the way, prior to this,
It's not a debate show, so what? If they're gonna sit there and like talk shit about someone live, and then they're in chat, and they want to come on and they want to fight about it, why not show you want the smoke? Bring the smoke. Have a fight. It may not be a debate show, but a bit of blood sports goes a long way.
happening, was invited to join Simcast the next week, despite him saying how boring and unbearable it is to speak to women. He was absolutely begging to
Yeah, exactly. Are we making money or are we making friends? Exactly. This is always... Man, oh, man. That's so true. It's so... That is just... Man, that really cuts to my issue with all these content creator freaks. It's about making friends for them. It's not about making money. Ugh. 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 Wretched. I hate it. I hate it.
Onto an all...
So, it's just the same stuff again. It should just show the same logs again.
Female podcast.
Most women, they never have anything interesting to say, and so I don't actually care about what they say. And so I feel like They're just talking, and I'm just kind of nodding my head. I just kind of want the exchange to be over so I can get on in life and do other things that I consider more meaningful, like watching paint dry on the wall. I'm not particularly good company for women because sometimes they'll...
Oh, so yeah, there might be a women's panel. I'm pretty sure Destiny went on this show once, no? Yeah. This is the podcast.
Oftentimes, people don't care. It'll never come true and have no...
I wonder how he got on this podcast. I can't imagine why he was on this podcast. Can't imagine. The show is full of stupid women imaginable, by the way. So we've got Ashton Birdie, who I'm pretty sure she used to fuck Baked Alaska, I think. Brittany Venti, obviously used to, or probably still does, live in shit and squalor. We've got Lauren, the woods woman. Living at a trailer park. Middle of the fucking forest. Whatever the fuck she does. I don't know who this Nina Infinity person is, but she looks like the same horrific half-breed that Venti is. Chrissy May, she's always seemed retarded. I don't know who this is. But yeah, the idea that we can't have a man on to come argue with people on a show. It's not a debate show. It's a women's only podcast. It's not a debate show. We're not having a man on to come argue. That's literally what you did with Destiny. It's literally what you did with Destiny. So that's a total bullshit excuse.
They'll be talking to me, and I'll literally just get up and walk out of the room. Because I just don't care what they're saying. I don't give a shit what they're saying. I don't care what they're saying. It doesn't make any sense. I'm just like, okay, what? And they're sometimes they'll be talking to me. I don't even know what they're talking about. I'm just like, what the fuck are you even talking? Just get up and leave. For women, I don't dislike women. They're not very enjoyable to be around, and they just kind of talk at you.
Please, Chrissy, let me on. Let me at him. Let me talk to the women. They can't talk about my sloppy wife like that. Wah! So he goes on to insult Simcast, the guest, and he also insults Chrissy, who was not hosting.
It's the content, you retard. It's the... Bro, what is these people's problem? Yeah, BPF is trying to get is trying to come in and have a fucking fight. He's literally handing you content on a silver platter. He's doing you a fucking favor, if anything. By even offering. It's literally not. It would be nothing but good. I don't understand what these fucking people's problem is.
And done throwing up all day from being pregnant, so Anna was hosting the stream. Imagine you're throwing up all day and then some guy DMs you this. Fuck off, Mayor. You could have easily allowed us to defend ourselves while our accusers were there. He makes it sound like it was...
List people from heaviest to the least heaviest. Big Mama Fascist, Spencer, Just Pearly Things, Red Pagan, Ralph, RTU and Boogie. Also, who will die from a heart attack first?
For $25, Doobie, once again. Heaviest to least heaviest. Between Big Mom, Fascist, Spencer, Just Pearly Things, Red Pagan, Ralph, RTU and Boogie. Okay, I think Boogie's got to be heaviest. Then it's got to be RTU, right? Then probably Red Pagan. Then I would say Spencer. Then Ralph, because Ralph's pretty skinny these days. Oh, is Big Mama Fash, is Sloppy Seconds Rachel really that fat? Would you really say she's bigger than... She's like going to be way more than Ralph? Ralph is the slimmest. But you got to think he's a man, right? He's going to weigh more. She's heavier than Ralph for sure. Okay. So, Big Mama Fascist, then Ralph. She's probably heavier... She's heavier... She's not heavier than Spencer. She can't be. No way. Ralph is like 5'5". No way. That's crazy. Didn't you call Destiny short? That's wild, bro. Probably Pearl and Ralph, yeah. Pearl's got like a foot on Ralph, let's be real. Do I look 5'1", bitch? Do I look 5'1"? Yeah, and who would die first? Ralph, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think you do, B.
SA or something. He's so mad. Not my first time in the you talk shit, now you turn to talk shit rodeo. I got no problems with Frank, he's fine. Isn't that interesting how he has no problems with the guy? You know, the guy that could actually square up with him instead of the pregnant woman who just got done throwing up all day? I was talking smack in chat to him, but I get he's just trying to run a show. Oh yeah, give him the pass, but always blame women. Sounds a lot like the manosphere. He backpedaled that real quick with a man though. So Frank's just trying to run a show. But you brats, yeah, not interested. If this is how it is, this is how it is. Rachel's too good for you all, literally. Genius academic, and you let dumb skanks rail her with lies and wouldn't allow a word of pushback. How did you think it would go with us being pals? Chrissy, we are literally not friends anymore. You let those dumb skanks talk shit about my sloppy wife. I'll have you know she is literally a genius academic.
Whenever I see like e-boys that are like big internet male figures, they get so feminine. I've never seen men partake in so much drama in my life than men on the internet.
You know these e-boys and their little gossip sessions. So as a result of this, because Tree of Logic was on this stream, she issues the same challenge that I issued to Rachel, who was running away, avoiding it, using her husband as a shield, and she told Addict Andrew to call into her stream and defend Sloppy. Isn't it interesting how he will 1v1, but suddenly Rachel can't do the same thing and call into my stream and needs a moderator? That's interesting because her husband doesn't. Shortly
Destiny's
after
girlfriend is saying that. Amazing. Isn't it just? Isn't it just? Isn't that crazy? It's so funny how Destiny tries to go. You're like, Melina was just upset that Lauren was on stream so much. That's why Melina was so upset about the relationship with Lauren. Yeah, dude. All right, whatever you fucking say, retard. We all believe you now. 100%. Sure, buddy. Sure thing, dude.
Mute her. After all that fuss Sloppy made about how I was going to mute her, meanwhile her husband does exactly that. So he mutes Tree, and the only thing you could see on the screen is a slideshow of Tree doing her dominatrix work that she's retired from. She's very open about how she did dominatrix work, and she talks about
true. That could be, that could actually be vague posting about Destiny, actually. Yeah, very true.
Understand what he thought he was exposing. Clearly he doesn't watch her content. So he's showing adult content that will either get Tree a strike for live streaming it, or it will get her live stream demonetized. And Andrew knows that, which is why he was streaming on Rumble. He did not stream this on YouTube. So yeah, essentially Andrew tries to mess with Tree's money by getting her live stream either a strike or possibly getting it demonetized, because he, like his wife that's hiding behind him, are too cowardly to actually hear what she has to say. He was scared what she's gonna say, so he's muting her, blocking the audience from seeing Tree talking about how his wife pimped out her daughter to Groypers, and all they're seeing is a slideshow of her doing dom work, which resulted in said Groyper not only increasing her body count to 1, but also blackmailing her family with her nudes for them to not speak out against Nick Fuentes.
Leading up to the debate I had scheduled with Ethan Ralph, with Big Tech, I got a call from my daughter's ex-boyfriend, and he basically threatened me, right? He said that he was going to do horrible things to me and my family. He's going to do horrible things to her. He said, it's because Fuentes is my king, and you're going after my king, and I'm going to do horrible things to you, right? Essentially. If you show up to that debate, I'm going to do horrible things to you, horrible things to your daughter. But he's like, if you show up to this debate, I'm going to ruin her entire life.
And this is completely sloppy mommy's fault. She's over here bragging that her daughter's a virgin, and now she's not because of her. And she's probably very traumatized from this, from her mother getting her into this situation. But Andrew's audience wouldn't know that because not only did he...
So there's no evidence here of it being like arranged or her mother getting her into that situation. But apparently that's what the next video is mainly about, I've heard. So a lot of this, I guess, we'll probably get more context on in a minute.
Tree and block the screen she was showing and explaining what had happened, but also he deleted his live stream. Luckily, I saved it.
This is where I live. This is why I was scoring the internet for suitors for my daughter. Can you believe this? Pimping out her daughter. She wants her daughter to be a single baby mama like she was.
So on Andrew's stream here,
oh, okay, so there she is saying, okay, she is implying that she's seeking out people for her daughter on the internet. Okay, I see. We sped through that Tree stream because it was fucking unbearable, so...
Audience's perspective. All you see is Tree's former domination pics, with Tree muted with this music playing. So because this is Addict Andrew's audience's POV, they cannot see what Tree is
Venti has her hammerhead sights on Rachel mostly. I imagine it is difficult for her to keep her vision targeted on one person.
They cannot see her screen, and he muted her so that they cannot hear what she's saying. Versus on Tree's stream, this is her audience's perspective, and they're able to see and hear everything for the entire duration of the stream.
Here we have her pimping out one of her daughters. She's a dream wife for a Groyper? Hello? Are you not going to say nothing?
Yeah, Tree, are
okay,
you...
so anyway,
so you're still not going to...
The dream of a wife for a Groyper is not a good enough feel for the scroll on. And so she says, so they're asking, hey, I want to know more about your daughter. I'm interested in basically, getting her to be one of my slaves. So then she says, she still have a wife who had 3 kids, actually 4 kids. She had 3 or 4 kids, unfortunately one of them. She had 4 kids by 3 other men. No, 2 men. You're the 3rd one. You're the cook that basically took her on, and with her baggage and her other kids. Won't deny that. And then here she goes, no baggage, but I'm her mom, so obviously I will be offended by your language. And then she has another one. I don't know. She likes a bunch. So this one's asking, I think they're asking about anime. So it says, I don't know. She's pimping them out like, yo, you're going to love this. She ain't even touched by nobody. So come here and get some of this. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we're going to go to the next one where we're showing how you're basically a whore is whoring out her daughter. Isn't that something?
Still freaking out.
Oh. Right after Tree gets done explaining how Rachel pimping out her daughter resulted in her getting engaged to a guy who eventually blackmailed her family over what's implied to be her nudes, he then rage quits the stream.
Pimped him out in April, they hooked up in May, and then all of a sudden they got engaged in October? In October? Oh, he left. He left! He left! He left! He left! He left! He left!
So essentially, his little tactic didn't work and he lost. He lost at the blood sports. So these people are most definitely not good.
That at all. That was an awful debate to watch, and Tree was spurging. It was absolutely painful to watch. Yeah, he was bored for like 20 straight minutes before he left. He was actually sitting there eating for half of it. He'd try and get in and ask Tree a question at some points, and then she'd just keep going. So he was just like, okay. And eventually muted her and was just like laughing about it on his stream. Like it was totally. It was not a Tree win at all. It was insufferable.
Good Christians and are literally the definition of the word grifter. Speaking of grifters, after this whole ordeal, Trad thought Isabella comes into the fight. So if Isabella...
So Outlaw 2, in a debate, your delivery matters just as much as what you're saying. And she did a really bad job of backing up what she was saying she was going as well. Because I didn't get any of that. Well, I totally missed the context of this tweet where she's saying, "This is what I'm looking for suitors online for my daughter." I totally missed this tweet the first time around, but this is one of the first things you should bring at a show. She was looking for men online, because that's like the key thing that you're alleging, is that you set her up with the guy that fucked her over. So it's like your fault, right?
Literally the definition of the word grifter. Speaking of grifters, after this whole ordeal, Trad thought Isabella...
No one's saying Andrew won either. No one's saying Andrew. It was all around. But Tree did not win that shit. It was fucking embarrassing. Andrew lost by accepting. But Tree lost in the actual debate because it was just totally fucking embarrassing.
comes into the fight. So if Isabella's out here tweeting pictures of Tree's retired domination photos where she's very open about it, and she fails to see the irony of her doing that considering that she has those inappropriate photos of herself where she's in lingerie showing her behind and kissing another woman. So my point of mentioning this is the contrast here. So we have Tree, who's open about her past of doing dom work and she's okay with it, and she also is bisexual. But then we have Trad thought Isabella, who is not honest about her past and only spoke on it after she was called out on it. She would have just continued lying by omission. This photo that Tree showed was only from about a year and a half ago. So how are you sucking your friend's boobs a year and a half ago in middle of the karaoke bar? But then you're gonna insult Cake Girl for not being modest and trad enough for baking a cake in her kitchen. So how is that Isabella can have photos that are more sexual than a dominatrix from as recently as like a year and a half ago? But then she's tweeting Tree's dom photos like she's exposing something. The difference is Tree is open and honest about it. Trad thought Isabella was not. Tree is also not held to the ethics code or the moral code of her religion, unlike Trad thought Isabella, who is held to the moral code of being a Christian and also throws stones at other people for, quote, not being traditional and Christian enough. The reason that I'm pointing it out and why Tree is pointing it out is the dishonesty about living a Christian lifestyle. It's one thing to have a past and genuinely change as a person, but this is not one of those situations. Seriously, the photos are on par with OF content as recently as a year and a half ago, but now you're a traditional Christian who gets to toss your stones at other women for baking in the kitchen, for literally staying in the kitchen. They're taking Christianity and using it as a shield for their bad actions and lifestyle that conflicts with Christianity that they're still living. These are going to be the people that others point to when they're like, see, that's why I don't want to be part of that. If I were Christian and living a trad wife life, I would be really pissed seeing these people making a perversion of it. They're just making a complete mockery of Christianity and just cherry picking what they want to follow and then throw stones at others who do the same things that they did. These people are so cliquish and purity spiral so much, but they're the ones who should actually be kicked out of the Christianity club for not living the actual lifestyle. Thank you for watching the video, and a special thanks to my producers from Patreon who support my content. Like the video, subscribe, feel free to purchase the Rose Tea Latte from Reed Street Soap. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Okay, well, cool. That was kind of a dog shit video. For the most part. There were some good parts. There's a new one. The Fakest Christians on YouTube.
Would you rewrite?
Bit of a follow-up. Jesus, Lauren De Laguna is just a strange-looking fella, isn't she? This cryptid. Slenderman ass. I would hit too. I won't lie. Okay. Let's not cap. However, Uncanny Valley much? So you bury the best looking one here. Alright, Stylo. Alright. It's kind of fruity. Well, you know. Listen, let's not spend too long on this, okay? Let's just watch.
Would you rewrite the First Amendment?
I have my opinions, but I don't even believe women should vote or be in government because we can't enforce any of those things anyway.
Welcome to the fake Christian side of the manosphere. I'm not a Christian, but I join you today with my cross necklace since anybody can be called a Christian nowadays. Also, it's a cute necklace, so. But yeah, welcome to the fake Christian side of the manosphere, where they believe things like 16-year-old minors are, quote, hotter than 26-year-olds. And they also believe that women, despite having to pay taxes and having the same IQ as men on average, should not vote. And that we are men's property, so we should be traded and sold off like cattle.
Women are currency to be bartered and traded. You know, we see in the Bible, it's not biblically unfounded. It's not like I'm making stuff up. You could trade a nice virgin bride for a half a dozen yoke of oxen. And I think if we went back to that and got rid of all this feminism crap, forget about your master's degree, forget about your career, and just go mommy mode. That's what I believe in.
So let me get this straight.
Oh no, not Momo. Oh no. Not Momo. Oh man.
De Laguna is Jewish, but it has more to do with her looking like a giraffe, just like Andrew Tate.
Thank you for the $5, Doobie. Jesus.
Give up our right to vote so that we can be sold like cattle to some creep who needs to bleach his roots?
Step aside, Mercury. It's not you I'm after.
Don't bleach your roots, creep. How are you going to buy women like cattle when you can't even afford to buy yourself some furniture? Yeah, let's become second-class citizens to some dork who has an infinity love sticker on his IKEA dresser. This is what people like Rachel Wilson are proposing when they say that women should become second-class citizens and give up their right to vote, and essentially giving up their right to freedom so that guys like that can buy us like cattle. It might catch you off guard to find out that sloppy Rachel here is in her 40s saying that women shouldn't vote, but it's actually not that surprising when you consider the fact that she pimped out her virginal daughter, that she bragged about having a 0 body count to a bunch of creepy men on the internet, on Twitter of all places. I covered some of this on my last video on Sloppy Seconds, 3 baby daddies Rachel Wilson, and her 12 cigarettes an hour husband, addict Andrew Wilson. But new details have come out about the situation that makes it even more creepy than we had initially thought, including the daughter herself speaking out on the situation. And I also want to speak on Reed Street Soap's Valentine's Day collection of candles that I helped design. The chocolate kiss candle is my favorite one. Not only is it beautiful with the pink and the chocolate, but it smells exactly like a chocolate kiss. I'm telling you guys, it smells so good that if I did not tell you it was a candle, you would 100% try eating it. You can get the chocolate kiss candle or any of the other Valentine's Day collection of candles on Reed Street Soap's website, which is reedsoap.shop. And if you place an order over $50, you will get this free birthday cupcake candle. And yes, it does smell like birthday cake, and it's in honor of my birthday. Happy
my daughter's
with what is implied to be her nudes and sex life, considering that she was a virgin.
I got a call from my daughter's ex-boyfriend, and he basically
sorry, I'm zoning out for some of it. I'll be real.
You show up to that debate, I'm gonna do horrible things to you, horrible things to your daughter. And I asked the guy, so what do you want? And he's like, you don't show up to that debate. And you shut your mouth about AF, period. But he's like, if you show up to this debate, if you show up, I'm gonna ruin her entire life.
After doing some research, I found out that Sloppy posted her daughter's TikTok with her name in it on her Twitter. So I looked into it, and it turns out that her daughter spoke on this relationship on her TikTok a while back. So this is from Rachel's daughter's
TikTok.
Man,
oh brother.
I remember I really almost married a 27-year-old man from New York that I only met 3 times because my parents wanted me to.
Okay. Uh-oh. 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 Yeah, that's not good, really, is it?
So now we know that Sloppy not only pimped out her daughter to a bunch of creepy cultist men on Twitter, but also this man was 27 years old, almost 10 years her senior, and it's captioned at the bottom, I was freshly 18. She didn't even have a chance to be an adult. I know that you can't see her face because I censored it, but let me tell you, she did.
Okay, come on now.
Does not look happy.
You're an adult.
Her mother Sloppy and her stepdad addict Andy put her into this dangerous situation. I feel like he let this happen because it's his wife's daughter and not his biological daughter. And it gets worse. Sloppy's daughter claims that she was abused and assaulted for 2 years after.
Is this about that guy?
Can't see her face because I censored it, but let me tell you, she does not look happy about this. Her mother Sloppy and her stepdad addict Andy put her into this dangerous situation. I feel like he let this happen because it's his wife's daughter and not his biological daughter. And it gets worse. Sloppy's daughter claims that she was abused and assaulted for 2 years. After doing the math and looking at the dates, I don't believe it's the same Groyper because she said says that she met the Groyper at 18 years old, and doing the math here, she would be around 15 or 16 years old when this other guy presumably abused and assaulted her for 2 years. So what this means is that Sloppy has a history.
Hey, yo, she's got anime posters. Yo, Andy, set me up.
other guy, presumably abused and assaulted her for 2 years. So what this means is that Sloppy has a history of letting her daughter get treated horribly by the men she dates, and even set her up with one. And who's to say that she didn't set her up with this guy too, since, you know, she was ready to hook her up the moment she turned 18. It was
Attack on Titan. It was Attack on Titan. It's dog shit. It's total dog shit. She's got shit taste.
happening before then too, if I had to take a guess. You not only let your daughter get abused and assaulted for 2 years, but then you put her back in another bad situation where she gets blackmailed and the guy threatens to ruin her life. So just to be clear, her fiance was a Groyper, part of the America First movement ran by Nick Fuentes. So this group would include guys like the one I showed earlier with the America First.
Still, I get what you're saying that this is paused, but obviously if her parents did put her in the situation, if it was pressured by her parents wanting her to marry this guy, then it is kind of their fault to an extent, right? But I mean, you're trusting the daughter's analysis of the situation where she's sort of deflecting responsibility.
First flags in his background. It's really not shocking that his fans like to talk about how women should be treated like animal stock, considering some of the predatory things that Nick has said.
When the Holy Spirit selected Mary, did the Holy Spirit go, let's look for a mature woman that I have something in common with? How old was the Virgin Mary? I think she was like, well, she wasn't 18, I'll say that much. You know what I expect?
True.
A fertile womb and a sort of innocent, childlike spirit. All these people in the chat, dude, just stop. Shut up. I'm out here free thinking, okay? And if I've got weird sexual interests, and if I'm dropping these red pills on you, you're going to shut up.
Nick also covered for a guy.
He's so based. Let's take it back. Let's watch some more Nick. Let's watch it in normal speed, okay? Why is Brittany Venti mogging herself by playing someone way more funny and interesting?
Nick has said.
When the Holy Spirit selected Mary, did the Holy Spirit go, let's look for a mature woman that I have something in common with? How old was the Virgin Mary? I think she was like, well, she wasn't 18, I'll say that much. You know what I expect? A fertile womb. A fertile womb and a sort of innocent, childlike spirit. All these people in the chat, dude, just stop. Shut up. I'm out here free thinking, okay? And if I've got weird sexual interests, and if I'm dropping these red pills on you, you're going to shut up.
Nick also covered.
Has anyone got any more of the clips I'm talking about? The child marriage shit. Has anyone got any more of them? Holy fuck, that's so funny. This is now a Fuentes fan stream. Very true, very true. We need the Fuentes I want to marry a 15-year-old girl clip. Why should I say? What is it that he says? No matter how old she is when I marry her, in 10 years she'll be at least 25. Fucking brilliant. I can't find clips. Guys, someone help me out here. Okay, here we go. Here's one. Here's one. Found one. Oh, man.
Believe in the concept. I think the age of consent should be lower. I don't even really believe in the concept. You want to know why? Because marriage is consent. You want to know what's wrong with sex? Being married means you consent to sex all the time. There's no such thing as marital rape. Because when you marry a person, you have a marital obligation to give your spouse sex whenever they want it. It's literally Catholic doctrine. So, you know, the only moral way to have sex is within marriage. The only way to get married is to consent to sex on demand. And both partners agree to that. That's their obligation. It's a mortal sin to deny it. So that's how's that for consent theory? That's my age of consent. It's not age of consent, it's age of marriage. Age of consent. What is this? What is this? Christians have no use for such things. Christians have no use for such a concept. You get married. A Christian doesn't have sex with anybody. A Christian has sex with their spouse within marriage. And nobody's getting married at a prepubescent age. People get married when they're at a reproductive age, when they're adolescents. And so, that, you know, I'm just redefining it.
Oh, man. Fuck me, he's so funny. Oh, there's another one here as well. This looks good.
I want to drink it straight from the tap. I want it raw. I don't want to wait a moment. Right when the milk is good, I want to start drinking the milk. Same thing goes with women. I don't want to turn 30 and find some 20-year-old, 29-year-old woman that I have something in common with, and it's like, hey, properly aged.
Oh, this was brilliant.
Like
this was amazing.
Women don't age like wine, they age like milk. They don't age like wine. That's not how their hormones work. That's not how they work. Yeah, I gotta find my 16-year-old wife. Probably when I turn 30 or something. Because here's the thing, I don't want to be like, let's say I get married to a 18-year-old now. 6-year age difference. When I turn 40, she's going to be 34. Ew. What if I'm 30 and she's 16? 14-year age difference. When I'm 50, she'll be 36. When I'm 40, she'll be 26. Now we're talking here. Now we're cooking with gas. Now you can see an alternative vision for how things could be. I want a 16-year-old that's untouched, pristine, untouched, uncorrupted, innocent. That's what we all want. And all 16-year-olds want an older guy who's like capable and strong and everything to sweep them off their feet. That's what everybody wants. That's what everybody wants. No, bitch.
Oh, man. So good. He's so fucking funny, dude. How is he so funny? How is he so funny? I wish I could be this funny. I never will be. I will never be Nick Fuentes. God. Now we see a different future. Now we're cooking with gas. So good, man. Fuck.
For a guy who was caught soliciting nudes from a minor, and Nick has also spoken on why he thinks it's actually okay to violate women against their will.
I think the age of consent should be lower. I don't even really believe in the concept. You want to know
Based.
why? Because marriage is consent. Being married means you consent to sex all the time. There's no such thing as marital rape.
It literally doesn't even make any sense why you would rape somebody in a way that doesn't even it's not even about your dick, right? I mean, do you understand what I'm saying? If you're just finger somebody, like, I don't know if you were just trying to be mean or just downright malicious. It's not like it's doing anything for you. And like I said, it's just so not a big deal.
Clearly, this is a projection on Nick's end because he clearly can't imagine what it is to be a straight man and derive pleasure from touching a woman. So he thinks, therefore, it's not violating a human right, even if it's against her will. But anyway, my point is that the daughter's ex-fiance is part of this group that Nick Fuentes runs. And after assumingly taking her virginity, which Sloppy loved to brag about before, he proceeded to blackmail her and her family with what is implied to be her nudes and sex life. So essentially, Sloppy put her own daughter in that situation with a man that was almost 10 years her senior. And this is right after her daughter was harmed by another guy when she was a minor under Sloppy's care. How I even found out this information was because of a Twitter user named Froggy pointing out this post that Rachel made with a video of her daughter baking a cake. Sloppy also publicly posted this daughter's name on Twitter along with her other children on several occasions. So I just want to make it clear that the only reason that I know about this and am able to talk about this is because of Sloppy publicizing this information herself. It's really unfortunate that her daughter is a victim of her mother's own lack of maternal instinct and poor judgment, so please do not harass the daughter. The daughter has been through enough being engaged to a groiper, so just leave her alone. And by the way, should they try to accuse me of doxing, I would like to remind you guys that Addict Andy tried to dox one of my friends and failed. He literally tried to put what he thought was private information out there of Tree. But I do think that this is very important to talk about because this cult has become very dangerous over the years. You know how I said earlier, Sloppy advocating for women to become second-class citizens, losing their right to vote would result in them being sold like cattle? Sloppy treated her daughter like cattle to a groiper the moment that she turned 18, and what happened? Her daughter almost got her entire life ruined. But based mommy knows best. Really just incredible judgment, her as a traditional Christian conservative fraternizing with Ethan Ralph, a convicted sex offender. She goes on his show, compliments his work, kisses his ass, has a long history of doing so. This man that she is kissing the ass of pleaded no contest and was ruled guilty for distributing revenge porn of his baby mama. That's his thanks to her for her bearing him a child. Do these people do anything?
Why is she coming for the Ralph mail? What did Ralph do? Why'd she say fuck him for? Ralph chilling.
Christian or
Ralph Mail wins again,
we
for
know
real.
that certainly her cooking isn't. Speaking of which, she made Addict Andy his very own sloppy cake where she didn't bother finishing frosting the damn thing.
Oh man, Ralph's argument on lolcow was amazing. I hadn't even thought of it like that before. I don't know why, because it's so obvious, but that revenge porn argument was fucking amazing. He just absolutely killed him with it, and they had no response. What did he say again? Like, revenge porn's a bullshit feminist law. If someone sends you an image, that is your image. You can distribute it in any way you want.
She's out here bragging about being a trad wife, and yet in those 26 years of homemaking, you couldn't figure out how to make a cake.
Where is it? Let's watch it.
I believe if you make a fucking kid, you should support it. What about your kids? Why aren't you taking care of them?
What kids?
I know you got.
You got low libido. I don't even think you can have
at least
kids.
One toddler.
Neither one of you motherfuckers can even have kids. You motherfuckers can't even reproduce.
Come here for a second. Hold on a second. Come here. I need to see your reaction on camera real quick, okay? Ralph wants to know, can I fuck you?
Yeah.
Oh man, this was so bad. Oh. But dude, Boogie is so fucking wretched. He's such a fucking rancid freak.
Here you go, Ralph.
Oh wow, yeah, you're Down syndrome looking. You look like you grabbed her from Arkham Asylum, by the way.
What are the legal troubles that you're currently going through, and you getting arrested? I really don't know the story, and I'm actually curious.
Well, I can't talk about certain things because of court issues. So,
but you can't even say why you're being sued or why you're being arrested.
Well, I have an order in court preventing me from talking about certain people. I can't break that order. It does involve my personal life. That's about all I can say. No illegalities, but going through some familial issues that haven't been dealt with, unfortunately, and so I can't actually talk about those.
A lot of people
and
say
violate
that
a court order.
A lot of people say you're a sex offender because of some drama or something. Is that true?
No, that's not true.
You're not on a sex offender list.
I pled no contest to illegal release of imagery or some fucking bullshit law in Virginia, and so that's not a sex offense.
So you didn't have to register.
No, I'm not a registered sex offender at all. No.
Okay.
When's the next time you'll be back in the United States, you think?
I don't know. Whenever I beat your ass, if you step in the ring.
Well, you'll never have that chance because you're nobody.
Well,
See,
I
here's
mean,
the thing.
I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody, but
you
you brought me on your show because it was terribly boring before I
we
showed
brought
up.
Strap on too, and he's.
But I'm the nobody.
Yeah.
I'm the nobody, but you brought me on the show because it was just a snore fest before I showed
Gotta
up.
have somebody to make fun of. Gotta have somebody.
When will I be in the U.S.? First off, why would I tell you that in the first place? And second off, when
I can't find it. I'm getting autistically stuck on this. I'm having a moment. I literally can't find it. Do you remember what he said?
Oh, it's not about what I know. It's what the authorities know. That's why you don't want to talk about it.
No, I have no outstanding charges at all in the United States.
We'll see.
Okay. What do you mean we'll see?
I mean, you
Okay,
still haven't
we'll
answered
see.
my question why you beat
I'd
women.
like to see how everything plays out.
I don't beat women, Wings. Why do you children?
There's multiple. Well, I don't know fucking children, but there's multiple.
Well, you talk about it enough.
Audio of you actively beating women.
There's not audio of that.
People send
There's
it to
not
me.
audio of me beating anybody.
You need me to find it for you?
There is no audio of me beating anybody.
Would you like me to find it
period.
for you? We play it on screen.
There's no audio of me beating anybody.
I'm asking
There's
you, would you like me to
audio
do-
of me having a heated argument with something I can't discuss, as I talked about earlier. But no, I
You
didn't
can't
beat
discuss it, but
anybody.
I can. You want me to play it on screen for us?
I did not beat anybody, and you can't prove otherwise. It's audio. What do you mean? You're going to prove that I beat somebody with audio?
Oh man, they sounded like there was some slaps and hits in that audio to me.
Yeah, they've edited this a fuck
Well, it sounds like you're.
Where is it? How do I find the original? I just want the raw VOD. This is like totally cut. Dude, this shit sucks. Okay, here we go. I found it.
Put you on the registry. You
Fuck a bitch.
On July
Fuck a
24th,
bitch.
2022.
Yeah, it's here. Found it finally. Okay, we got that.
The revenge. Were you arrested for that? Is that a thing that you got arrested for? Well, what about
Was I arrested?
contest? What about on January 5th when you pled a no contest disseminating revenge porn?
I did. I know you. I know no contest. Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah,
fuck a
you
bitch.
did it. I care.
Fuck a bitch. Well, I don't.
That's why I said that even if they didn't put you on
fuck
the
a
registry,
bitch. Fuck a
Fuck a
whore.
bitch.
On July
fuck
24th,
a bitch.
2022, did you call your ex-girlfriend
I'm not a
Skype?
fake feminist like you. I don't give a fuck about a
violate your
bitch.
order? Did you violate
I don't give a fuck
restraining
about a
order?
bitch.
Did you
I don't give a
violate
fuck about a
restraining order
bitch
on July
like you.
24th,
What are you,
2022?
Captain Save-A-Ho over here?
No, I just think it's interesting because I don't
Who
need
gives a
false
fuck?
allegations. I got
Revenge
facts.
porn is not even a thing.
Yeah, I don't need
Why do
false
you beat
It's
allegations.
a
them?
because I got
made-up
facts. I
fucking
don't need false
bullshit
allegations because I got
fucking
facts.
concept that was pushed on us by feminists. If you are given an image by somebody else and you own that image, you have the right to do whatever you want to do with that image. Revenge porn is fake and bullshit.
Why do you beat women?
Ralph, why are you...
No response. No counter argument. Total Ralph Mail sweep. Oh man.
Look good. It
So glad
really
we
looks
found
like
that.
it's unfinished, like it's melting plastic on the cake. I can think of a cake that looked a lot better. Just saying. You know, looking at these food photos, it reminds me of when I went on
Fuck a bitch. Fuck a whore. Fuck a bitch. Fuck a bitch.
on her daughter's TikTok, and I saw that she had posted about having an eating disorder. It's sad that she had to go through that in such a hard time in her life. And it's a really serious issue because it implies that there's probably something going on in the household. You don't just randomly develop an ED. And I really hope that she's healed and recovered from that. But you know Sloppy's cooking must be bad if her daughter literally rather...
Is this what we're doing? Like, yeah, your daughter's got an eating disorder. Haha, is this really what we're doing? Oh, man.
starve
Okay.
herself than to eat her food. Like, you can't blame her. You saw how many calories are in the meals that she makes in the last video. You know, how is her daughter supposed to have a healthy relationship with food when the smallest meal I've seen Sloppy make was like 1,000 calories? But anyway, I would like to talk more about their traditional Christian marriage. Sloppy and her husband Addict Andy lie about their marriage and how long they've been married, as we covered in the last video. They both said a bunch of different numbers for how long they were married, and it turns out that they were married for a lot less long than what they had said. This is going to get complicated with Sloppy and her 5 children from 3 different baby daddies. It's honestly messier than an episode of The Maury Show. So I'll give extra detail and receipts on the screen for anybody who wants to see the full proof of what I'm talking about. So based on what we know, in approximately 2002, Rachel got abandoned by baby daddy number 1. And that's where presumably her first 2 kids come from because they both share the same last name. And I know that from Rachel tweeting her kids' names. And they follow each other on social media, which you can find from Sloppy leaking the TikTok name of one of these daughters. The story gets more interesting when she marries her first husband, baby daddy number 2, who she has a child with that ends up passing away in a
Doing this, okay.
very tragic accident that in turn makes Sloppy look like an extremely irresponsible parent.
What? Because someone stole the car? What?
There's a couple of news articles on this if you guys would like to read it for yourselves. So this baby daddy ends up divorcing her.
This is like not... No, this is like retarded and kind of fucked. This is kind of... This is... Why take... This is like an unforced error on Venti's part. Like, why bring the dead kid into it? Because this is not good enough. Like, your attack here is not good enough. Well, I mean, this is from a news article, right? The argument is that the other one's doxing because they've connected social media accounts, I guess. Jennings' mother says she believes that Ingram found a specific case where they can talk about permission. She said that she believed Ingram was a respectable kid who made a bad decision and she's forgiving him. Jennings' father told the court that Ingram should face tougher punishments. I mean, dude, this just sounds... It's just fucked. Yeah, sure, she's a troll. Isn't she trying to be like more of like a right-wing influencer now, I thought? Like actually talking about her opinions on stuff? This just seems fucked. Like, your attack here is not good enough to justify... Your attack here is not good enough to justify how low you're going. You need to have something more substantive to go at them with, I think. Yeah. I'm just like trying to think through it. And yeah, I just don't. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not moralizing over it. You can make a video making fun of someone's dead kid, but this is like, it's not. The lowness of the blow is not justified optically by the attack that you're making. That you need to have something more substantive to latch onto here. And acting like it's Rachel's fault is like retarded.
Story gets more interesting when she marries her first husband, baby daddy number 2, who she has a child with that ends up passing away in a very tragic accident.
Objects who cares? I mean, I figured Brittany does because she. Dude, the point is I'm criticizing this from Brittany's perspective and from the point of being a right-wing influencer, right? That's what Brittany's trying to be. Like, look at her fucking content now. Fake Christians are the right. Jealous women are the right. Wife humiliated at her wedding. Twitch to degeneracy pipeline. Married man asks out mom at the gym. How just pearly things ruined her YouTube career. Why Japanese women aren't dating Japanese men. Like, she's not just being a 4chan troll anymore. She's trying to be right-wing sniper wolf. Exactly. Kenny, you're getting a timeout. Straight up. Do not tell me to play the vid. Do not tell me to play the video. Actually, rope. Holy fuck. Come back in half an hour, buddy. Naga too. You can take one too. I don't care. You think I will not ban you guys? I will not time you guys out. I will. 100%. Do not tell me how to control the video. Fuck off.
Sloppy look like an extremely irresponsible parent. There's a couple of news articles on this if you guys would like to read it for yourselves. So this baby daddy ends up divorcing her.
Kill yourself. Kill yourself.
And Sloppy actually claims that both of her first baby daddies abandoned her, which I don't know if I believe, but we do have this divorce document that shows that baby daddy number 2 did in fact divorce Sloppy. And pay attention to the date. The case was closed in October of 2011. Now for the most important part. Based on what I've worked out here, Addict Andy has 2 children with Sloppy. Doing some research, I found out which child was Addict Andy's first kid with Sloppy. And how I know this child is Addict Andy Wilson's child, or most likely is because she shares the same last name. What I believe happened here is that he had a child with Sloppy, left her, and married someone else, and then had a second child with Sloppy. And it's in a way that really makes it look like he cheated on his ex-wife with Sloppy while they were still married. And that would explain why Addict Andy was so forceful about making Sloppy have her child take the paternity test.
I have what I would consider 100% faith and trust in my wife. But I told her, I told her these words exactly. You're going to get the fucking test, and if not, I'm out the door. Period.
So based on this information and how close the timelines are, it would seem like he left his ex-wife to marry Sloppy. So basically, to sum this up and simplify it, Addict Andy and Sloppy had a child, and then a little bit time later, Addict Andy married a different woman. We know that the legal marriage between Addict Andy and Sloppy has not happened yet because we know that Sloppy tweeted that they got married in December of 2012. This first child between Sloppy and Addict Andy was born around 2009 and shares the same.
Okay, am I crazy or are these people like trailer trash? I don't know, man. I don't care.
Last name as Addict Andy Wilson. And Addict Andy...
Yep, sure, okay, sure, yes. It makes BPF look kind of like a hypocrite. Like he's not living his values. Sure, okay.
Goes as far as to say that the ceremony happened way before the legalities did. So 2012 December would be about the earliest that they could have legally been married, especially based on the tweets. So then after they had this first child out of wedlock, sometime later, Addict Andy gets married to a different woman that is not Sloppy. And according to Addict Andy's marriage application with said other woman that was applied for in 2010.
Well, yeah, yes, I am expecting something besides trolling and Schadenfreude. I thought Brittany Venti was trying to be, like, her whole channel is like more serious shit now, isn't it? Like, she's actually talking about, she's trying to give actual critiques of shit.
It was only 1 year later after this
She's
marriage
not just a troll
certificate
anymore. She's not trying to be
application
anyway.
that Sloppy and Addict Andy conceived their next child, who she also mentioned the name of on Twitter and mentioned the exact birthday, so you can do the math and go back 9 or 10 months and figure out when she was conceived. And this child is born in February of 2012, and then some months later, in December of 2012,
Have you ever watched any of his videos? Yeah.
Addict Andy
I've
and
seen,
his sloppy
like, all the
wife
ones Chud's
get
covered.
married. So that's why they keep fudging the numbers. It's because it helps hide what
If she's just talking shit, then sure, she's just talking shit.
happened, and it was very messy, which Sloppy denies, but the dates are adding up.
It's kind of lame a
No,
little
see,
bit.
this person says, Tree says you got knocked up by your current husband while he was married. He divorced his wife to marry you. No. This is what
Maybe I just don't care. Maybe that's the fundamental issue. I just don't give a fuck. Maybe Brittany, if you care about this shit, maybe Brittany Venti is raping Andrew right now. But I really just do not care.
I'm saying. They're just inventing crazy shit. Andrew was not married. No, he was not married when we met at all. He hadn't been married. He wasn't married when we met. He didn't knock me up. That's all lies. I don't know
It sounds like that was a lie.
where they
It doesn't seem like lies to me. The
Yeah, sure. Okay, they're grifting. Cool.
dates aren't lying. Versus Sloppy, who has lied about how long she was married, among other things. So let's go through one by one all of these things that Sloppy claims are lies. We're going to do all the ones that are relevant to this video. Andrew was married to someone else and got me pregnant on the side. Well, we saw with the dates for the marriage certificate application that that's not true. And that baby...
Set yourself up for failure when you start inventing yourself. What does that even mean? You're not saying anything. It's just a shit video. It's just not very funny.
S. Wilson has Addict Andy's last name, most likely has it because he is the father. That is a fair assumption to make, especially when her other kids...
Like, it's not funny enough to be a shit talking video. It's not substantive enough to be a criticism video. So it's just shit.
Kids don't share his last name, which we know based on her sharing their names and her sharing her daughter's TikTok. Next we have We Are Being Blackmailed. There is literally a videotape of your husband saying that you guys were.
I got a call from my daughter's ex-boyfriend, and he basically threatened me, right? He said,
Yeah, I hate to let the BPF haters know, but he is not done after this. This is not ending BPF.
that he was going to do horrible things. You show up to that debate, I'm going to do horrible things to you.
I hate to tell you, but none of the whores that he debates and dunks on the whatever podcast are going to watch 50 minutes of Brittany Venti videos for preparation to own him.
Horrible things to your daughter.
By the groiper that you set her up with when she was freshly 18 and he was almost 10 years her senior. That she said...
I hate the new aesthetic she has. I remember her burping and having cat shit on her bed. Very true.
You pushed her to do. So, wrong. That's a lie. Andrew forced me to agree to paternity testing. We saw the clip only 100 times.
I told her these words exactly. You're going to get the fucking test, and if not, I'm out the door.
If saying that you're going to, quote, fucking take that test or I'm leaving isn't essentially forcing someone, then I don't know what is. Like, how else would you force someone to take a paternity test? I was promiscuous. If that weren't true, I wouldn't have had to spend the last 10 minutes explaining her messy past. I had to draw several timelines just to keep track of your messy past and incorporate math just to figure out how many marriages, baby daddies, and situations you were.
Why is she making this video? Like, what purpose does it even contribute? We're saying that they've lied about stuff and they're kind of grifting, which, like, sure, yeah, that's... I just expect that from conservatives online. I don't know. Obviously, none of them live their values fully. I don't believe that about any of them. But I'm also not a conservative, so I just don't give a fuck. I mean, if you're like super into this stuff, maybe this matters to you. But it's just like not substantive enough to a wide audience to be a good criticism video. And it's not funny enough to be a good shit talking video. So it just comes off lame.
Were in. This is so messy, I don't even think Maury could follow it. I had to sit here and write out a timeline just to explain it to you guys. And I'm pretty sure that's why they're hiding it, because they know it's not traditional or conservative, so they opt to lie about it instead and inflate the number of years they've been married to cover it up. So yeah, this has been a pretty deep rabbit hole into the fake Christian manosphere. And I know that Addict Andy and his sloppy wife are going to say that they're not part of the manosphere, but that's BS. Addict Andy's friends are pretty much all in the manosphere. He makes the type of content that that appeals to the manosphere audience. They make the same arguments, they have the same talking points, like how women shouldn't vote. Literally refers to himself as an MRA. He puts the most provocative photos that he can find permitted by YouTube of OF girls, just like the Manosphere podcast, like Fresh. Vote literally refers to himself as an MRA.
I don't think I can say
he puts
anything.
the most provocative.
Did you already send it to?
Vote literally refers to himself as an MRA. He puts the most provocative photos that he can find permitted by YouTube of OF girls, just like the Manosphere podcast, like Fresh and Fit do. They do a lot of collaborative content with the Manosphere. Sloppy is besties with Pearl, plus they rub arms with Grandma Tomasi. Sloppy was all over him during the Lauren Southern thing when we made up the fake rumors and sent a troll email, and then Grandma Tomasi believed it. Sloppy was backing him up on that and actually believed it, by the way. So
okay, well, no, it's not necessarily all of it. When was that posted?
Sloppy was back
June 16th. I mean, when was that? I mean, that's true. I believe this to be true. I believe this to be true. He was going to divorce Melina and get into a monogamous relationship with Lauren Southern, but Melina found out and got really mad and moved to Texas for 2 weeks. And then Lauren decided against it for whatever reason, so Destiny was devastated but just decided to stay with Melina. This is true to my knowledge. That is true to my knowledge.
backing him up on that and actually believed it, by the way. So great judgment. Thank you guys for watching the video.
That's my understanding.
And shout out to Froggy on Twitter for posting so much evidence that helped in my research. And shout out to Tree from Just Tree 411 for posting so many receipts and creating so much entertainment for this entire rabbit hole to even happen in the first place. And a big thank you to my producers on Patreon. If you would like to become a patron and support my content, if you like my work.
Okay, well, I will not be supporting your content. That was kind of a shit video. Very boring. Incredibly boring, actually.